When I experienced the baptism of the Holy Spirit, I actually really didn't have an idea of what was going on. I grew up in a church that didn't believe the gifts of the Spirit were active or even part of the church today. The church I grew up in had stained glass windows all around the sanctuary, and one of the last windows was the scene of Pentecost in the book of Acts. And I remember on Sunday mornings looking over the stained glass windows, usually in boredom. But in the stained glass window of Pentecost, there were the disciples gathered in the upper room and a symbol of fire over each of their heads. And I remember as a kid looking at that stained glass window and being like, how cool would it be if that was for today? And now, whenever I think of that stained glass window or I see other depictions of the disciples in the upper room, it's now this realization of like, oh wait, the same fire that rested on the disciples in the upper room rests on me today. So with that, whenever the Lord called me to Greenville, I had no idea what he had in store for me. Got connected to Hope Church through the Greenville Interest Socials, was having a great time at those socials, meeting people, getting involved in like the Greenville community. And towards the end of those launch team meetings, Pastor Rich got in front of the launch team and said, hey, we are about to launch a church, but we cannot do it without the Holy Spirit, so we're going to ask him to come and fill us now. And in that moment, as Pastor Rich prayed and interceded, and the room also interceded, the Holy Spirit came. Since that moment, I've experienced a drastic difference in personal devotion to the Lord and the relationships that I hold, even into like my own dreams and desires. It's gone to a deeper level, a deeper connection than I ever could have imagined. It's no longer this surface level Christianity of like we share the same religion and that's the only thing that connects us. Now it's this deep, like we share the same Holy Spirit, we share the same brotherhood with Jesus, and we share the same relationship of God being our Father. And to experience that in community settings, in church settings, and friendship settings has been drastically different, but in the sweetest way possible. To see how the Holy Spirit has opened my eyes to scriptures. I remember immediately after like experiencing the baptism of the Holy Spirit, when I read scriptures again, there were these verses that jumped out to me that I had read all my life, but now seeing them in a whole different light and interpretation, and now walking in that freedom and growing in the Holy Spirit in that freedom. It's been really, really cool.